Hi everyone, I'm Henri Sanrame, and I'm a certified Apple trainer. I teach Logic courses, and I'm also one of Logic Pro's Facebook group administrators. To celebrate our 1000 member, we decided to create a series of tutorials. They will be mostly about workflow. This one will be about tools. I know many of you have heard that Logic is not very intuitive, and probably any good at doing editing, especially for audio. But that's not true. And I'm going to show you today that it's very easy and very fast and straightforward to edit audio. So here we go. Before we get started, let's get into preferences. So we're going to check here the preferences on general editing. But before that, let me show you the Advanced tab. This is very important. You should always have the Advanced tools clicked, because if you don't, you'll end up having a GarageBand beefed up version, and that's not what you want. Let's get back here to editing, and we'll select the right mouse button. We'll select Open Tools menu, and we'll click these boxes here for Fade Tool and Marquee Tool click zones. Now, before jumping into the tools themselves, it's important to talk about zooming, because navigation is almost as important as editing itself. So let's take a quick look. Let's check here, for example, this lid. If I want to zoom in, I'm going to choose it just by clicking it and clicking the Z key, right? If I click again, I'll go back. Nothing special about that. One thing that I should mention also is that having the track zoom, auto zoom on is always very important, because you want the regions that you're editing to be bigger than the rest. To do that, we hit the Control Z. See how that region is bigger? Right. So another trick is using the Control option to zoom where I want, and again and again. To head back, just click anywhere in the background and you'll go back one level. One thing that's also very interesting and can be very helpful for you is that if, say, you're very zoomed in, you've got a lot of detail and you want to get back quickly to seeing the whole arrangement, you can, for example, just click Command A to select everything and then click Z, and there you will have your whole project visible again. Okay, so now let's create an audio region so that we can add it. To do that, we just select the lid, bounce regions, let's just rename it, and there you go. Now that we have our audio region, let's get to editing. Just hit the Z key, and here we are. Now notice that the tool changes according to where I'm pointing in the region. Okay, so if I go to the left, I can resize it, of course. To the right, exactly the same thing. At the top, I still have the pointer where I can move if I want to. And if I go a little bit to the bottom, I get the marquee. One thing that probably many people don't know about the marquee is that if you double click, you can split. And now we have two joint regions. Of course, it's the same audio file, but it's split. Now notice that we should have split it at 27, but we didn't. So again, if I go here, about the middle, we get the junction tool, where we can fine-tune exactly the way that we want to. And here we go. You'll probably see from the key commands that I can get more resolution by clicking Control and even clicking Control-Shift. But now it's perfectly split. Now, let's get to the fades. And with the fade, it's pretty easy. When you get near a boundary, the tool switches again. And here, you can do the fade in, the crossfade, as well as the fade out. All without ever needing to change tools. Going to the toolbox, to the tool menu, sorry. I guess it's from being a long-time Logic user. Some terms still are fresh. Right. So if you click with the pointer over here, you'll see that you can change the length of the fade, and this applies pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. See? But if you click within the fade itself, you can pretty much change the curve the way you want to. Okay, so that's fades. Now let me show you another way of doing this. Probably the old way, which is as easy, has some disadvantages and some advantages. So for that, we'll need to go into the preferences again and go into general, editing, and we're going to select assignable tool for the right mouse button and uncheck the fade and the marquee tool click zones. So this way, the tool no longer changes according to where you are. It changes also, but not as much as before. You still get change. You still get a change when you are on the boundaries, but you don't get the fade tool. You still get the junction tool, but you don't need to be exactly in the middle of the region. And of course, you can also select the boundaries and move them from within the regions. So what changes exactly? Now, for the fades, you need to use key commands, and you'll need to use Control-Shift, and instead of dragging from the outside to the inside, you need to drag the other way around. So when I click the Control-Shift, click and drag, I have my fade in, and my crossfade, and my fade out. Same thing when you want to change, I need to hold the Control-Shift, and I just need to drag. Same thing for changing the curve. Control-Shift and drag also. So what's so different about this, besides the fact that you don't have the fade tool, is that, as you've seen, I've got the scissor tool for the right mouse button. And when I use the scissors tool, I get something that I don't get with the marquee. I can scrub and listen exactly where I'm cutting. Another advantage is when I click with the scissors tool and I just click the option key, a plus appears near my scissor tool. And what this does is split the region into equal size parts. Let's undo this. So this is another way of doing. Another thing that's also interesting, and I didn't talk about it, is the marquee tool. With the marquee tool, you can do a selection from within the region, and you can even use the snap to transient function to, say, cut a loop if you want to. To do this, you just use the left and right arrow keys for the right boundary, and when you click the shift and use the same left and right arrow keys, you can just select the left boundary. So we've seen how to create this selection with the marquee tool. And let's say, for example, that you wanted to create that same loop. If you didn't use the marquee tool, this is probably how you would do it. You would have to use the scissors, cut it, say, over here, and again over here, delete this, and delete this, right? But that's 4 steps. Cut left, cut right, delete left. No need for that. So let's use the marquee tool. Again, we can pretty much be precise and just click over here. Or if we're feeling a little sloppy, no worries. Just use the snap to transients. And there it is. And now with just a key command, boom, I have my loop made. That easy. So before we end this, a last tip. So let's just undo this, right? We've got the region again, whole. Remember, Command A, Z. We've got the whole arrangement again. Let's just unmute this and unmute this. Now, a great feature that we always had in Logic is the cycle jump. And what is this exactly? You know that if you click and drag, you can select the zone to cycle. Right, so if I come from here, it will just keep on spinning. Nothing special. But say that, for example, you want to hear how you want this to hear the lead and airy synth to just come in exactly at the same time of the top end. I could of course drag everything, but I can, instead of committing to that, just do the cycle jump. And how is this done? Before, you would drag from the left to the right, and you would have a cycle, and from the right to the left, you would have a cycle jump. Well, not anymore, unfortunately, as you can see. You can click the command, and there it turns into a cycle jump region. A cycle jump, actually. So let's listen to it. So here it will jump. But you can do this in one go also. Just hit the command and just drag any way you like it. Left to right, right to left, whatever. So this is it. It's a wrap up. I hope everyone liked it. If you did, just pop up at the Facebook group. I'm sure you'll like it. See you soon.